families will be able to live ordinary lives. That's always our kind of starting point. The other ones are around things like families should get the information that they need when they need it, information that's reliable, that's consistent, and that puts them in a position of power.
The big issue is about information and accessing information. Where do you go for support if you're a parent or a carer of a child with disabilities? Services are available, but sometimes parents and carers just don't know that they're there, and that adds to the stress, I think.
When you have a child, particularly children who have quite complex needs, they could be getting a dozen assessments, maybe more, and none of that's joint. And so another of our principles is we should have a joint approach to assessment.
We had books for different appointments, books for different hospitals, sets of notes for this, sets of notes for that, because unfortunately with the fact she was under 3 different health authorities for 3 of her conditions, it meant that they talked to people in their own authority but not outside the authority. And I remember one day we went for the heart surgery, we got there in the ambulance, and at the hospital she'd had a big stack of notes, and she was 14 weeks old at the time, weighed 6 pounds, and they handed over a sheet of paper to the new hospital with the information on there, and that was it. And I couldn't believe that they condensed all that into one sheet of paper.
We were really lucky in that, particularly for our daughter, both our children have got additional needs, but for our daughter, by luck rather than judgment, her additional needs were dealt with in an early support type way, in that when she was just 3, we had a multi-agency meeting and we had 15 people sat around a table addressing her health needs, her social needs, her education needs, so that by the time she was going into school, she had a statement. On the other hand, our son, whose additional needs are quite unusual, we didn't have a multi-agency meeting for him until he was about 15. And the only reason that took place was because I happened to say to a couple of healthcare professionals and a social worker, I'd really like you to talk to each other. I'm fed up of you coming to my house and talking to me and having to take time off work to see you and time off the next day to see you. I'd like you to all talk together, and I'd like my son to be there while you're doing it. And that didn't happen until he was 15. I don't want that happening for families.
Another of the principles is that families should be able to monitor the progress of their child and celebrate the progress of their child as well. We work on that principle and say, what would that look like, and put that into action, sometimes via materials, or it could be by ways of working. Another of the principles is that practitioners should be trained appropriately to work with families.
When you're at home and you're doing turn-taking games or you're playing peekaboo or something like that, does Gracie get excited? Does she show she's enjoying it?
Yeah, usually we give her a blanket and she'll hide her face, and then we'll say, oh no, where's Gracie? And then she'll like pull it down and wait for us all to go, yeah, she is! And she gets all excited.
That's lovely. So she likes being the centre of attention as well.
Early support training has been very useful. A couple of colleagues and myself have been on a whole range of training opportunities that have been provided locally and in other parts of Wales. It's been very thorough. There's been a lot of materials produced for us to take away and to show to colleagues and to use. It's been very thorough in that we've been given opportunities to watch videos of children whose parents have been using the materials, so we can see how the materials have been used with other children and other families in other parts of the country. And there are also the experts there who have produced the materials, who we can question and ask why things have been done the way they've been done.